Welcome to the MRO Minute. This is a quick, detailed review of drug testing subjects. Today I wanted to spend a little bit of time discussing electronic data interchange, or EDI, and how it specifically is used in drug testing. This is brought to you by Central Drug Testing. I'm Dr. Schwartz. I'm a medical doctor and a certified medical review officer. For most people in drug testing, the current system is like it was 2 decades ago in clinical healthcare with just paper charting. Approximately 20 years ago, though, doctors' offices began this transition from paper charts to what's called an electronic medical record. So now when you go in to see your doctor or provider, they enter information into the computer or an electronic medical record. And this movement has resulted in a huge improvement in quality in medicine by standardizing charts, facilitating pharmacy interactions, integrating lab and radiology results, and generally reducing misinterpretation, because face it, our handwriting really sucks. But the work in drug testing has remained manual, like the old paper charts in an office. So for example, when a person goes in to get a drug test, a chain of custody form is filled out, and that form is sent with the sample to the lab. And the lab enters some of that information from the chain of custody form into a computer. But then the chain of custody form is sent separately to the medical review officer, and then the medical review officer has to wait, or their team has to wait until the result is produced by the lab, and then the lab result and the chain of custody form needs to be correlated and reviewed and acted upon, and then that data together is typed into another portal and sent out either back to the third-party administrator or to the employer, and sometimes that employer then retypes all that information back into their own portal. So the information is entered manually 3 to 5 times depending upon what kind of system you have and where the sample's being obtained. But now both DOT and non-DOT drug testing has what's called electronic data interchange, or EDI. So what is electronic data interchange? It's basically the computer-to-computer exchange of business documents in a standard electronic format. It replaces things like mail, fax, and email, and while sometimes email seems like it's an electronic approach, most of the documents exchanged are handled by people rather than by computers. The standard format for exchanging healthcare information is something called HL7, or Health Level 7, and it's used to exchange, share, and receive electronic health information. For those people who have only the need to receive it, you can get something called an EDI translator and load it onto your computer so you can receive specifically the information that you want. This is a fairly deep rabbit hole. If you're ever having trouble sleeping, this would solve the problem for you. So if you want to read more about it, go right ahead. So in drug testing, the information obtained on the chain of custody form is entered into an electronic chain of custody form manually one time. This links the donor, the chain of custody, and the lab results all together. This can either be done at a lab or at the collection site if it's done at your office. The results then are generated by the lab and automatically uploaded into the file that contains the original chain of custody, and this packet of information is then forwarded on to a medical review officer to review, and then forwarded on to the third-party administrator or the employer without having to re-enter the data any further. So instead of 3 to 5 manual entries of information, there's generally just one. So why use EDI in drug testing? Well, it's simple. It's just faster and more accurate results. For example, when I click update on my computer, it automatically updates the files for me to read, and I get a copy of the chain of custody, the donor contact information, as well as the result right there on my desktop. I no longer have to wait for the chain of custody forms to be faxed over and then go searching for a result on the computer, print them out, and make sure and correlate them, and then put them all back in. Also, when I'm done with the test, I can hit release, and it will go straight back to the employer or the third-party administrator. So much faster, and the results are readily available instantaneously. So That concludes this video. Please comment below or reach out to us at centraldrugtesting.com. Thanks.